may I request or get a comment from PhilHealth and DOH that maybe our advocacy of helping poor patients, no copay, no out-of-pocket, which was clarified by this memorandum, shouldn't this be now at least discussed with DILG, with PhilHealth and DOH, to be considered in that seal of good local governance? Having no more members of the minority.
Oh, Mr.
Speaker, we join the minority in their motion to terminate the period of debate. Department Clearance. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Joint motion to terminate interpellation to the proposed budget of the Department of Health. Is there any objection? The chair hears
have a
none.
motion ruling, please.
Let me question the
Interpellations on the proposed budget of the Department of Health is hereby terminated.
Let me question the quorum, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move for a few minutes suspension.
Session is suspended.
With this, Mr. Speaker, I move that we immediately transmit to the Senate House Bill 10800.
Magsipilo ka ha! Dilaw na ipin mo!
Sin po kasi natin na sa proposed budget for the Department of Health ay meron pong significant reductions sa prevention and control of communicable diseases. Pati sa epidemiology and surveillance program, Mr. Speaker. For the increases, magre-rely po ba tayo sa like congressional insertions or paano po natin matitiyak na matataasan ito? Kasi kung i-compare sa actual budget that we have for this year, significant po talaga itong mga decreases.
Mr. Speaker, if we compare NEP 2024 to NEP 2025, it's actually the same. So disease prevention and control has 4.5 billion pesos, both for 2024 NEP and 2025 NEP.
Okay, kung ganun kasi Mr. Speaker na alam naman na natin pala na dapat siyang taasan, kaya din natin talaga dapat pinopoint out dito sa plenary kasi para alam na ating mga kapwa mambabatas na ganito sa ngayon yung proposal. Kasi if hindi po natin yan ipo-point out, syempre yung pangamba natin, baka hindi na naman ito talaga makakuha ng sapat na pondo. Lalo na't Mr. Speaker, when we talk about epidemiology and surveillance program, kasama dito ang pag-monitor ng pagkalat ng mga virus. Mr. Speaker, sa panahon din na merong climate change, actually Mr. Speaker, totoo ang threat na yung mga virus, yung mga microorganisms na trapped sa ice ay pwedeng mabuhay ulit, Mr. Speaker, at kumalat. So ibig sabihin actually, hindi imposible na meron ulit global pandemic na mangyari. So kailangan lang handa tayo, Mr. Speaker. And we must reap lessons from the past na hindi natin na best yung pagharap sa COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya hindi po katanggap-tanggap na sa ngayon, ganito yung proposal. So ano po ang mga hakbang na iti-take natin para matiyak natin talaga, assured tayo na tataasan ito, Mr. Speaker? While waiting, Mr. Speaker, kasi gusto natin i-point out for 2024 para sa prevention and control of communicable diseases, ang budget po natin ay 6.2 billion pesos. Pero ang proposal ngayon, Mr. Speaker, 5.1 billion. So mas mababa talaga ng nasa 1 billion. And for epidemiology and surveillance program, ang budget po this year ay 638 million, pero ang proposal lang ngayon ay 422 million. So almost a third ang difference, Mr. Speaker. And given, Mr. Speaker, ito naman ay mga programa, hindi po ito infrastructure projects na eventually pag natapos na ay it's as if okay lang na significantly babawasan. again, programs po ito, Mr. Speaker, na dapat talaga taon-taon ay dapat pa nga binoboost natin yung capacity to monitor. At kung meron dapat i-surveil, Mr. Speaker, dapat yung mga virus yung sinusurveil natin.
Mr. Speaker, for epidemiology and surveillance, the DOH has requested 545 million.
545 million.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, in terms of the personnel services naman for epidemiology and surveillance program, kung i-compare po yung proposal po ngayon doon sa itong taon na to, ano po ang trend sa personnel services?
Mr. Speaker, due to we are at the tail end of the pandemic, binaba na po ang personal services from from 16 billion I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. The PS actually increased from 16 billion to 31 billion. But that's from GAA 2024 to NEP 2025.
Okay, so hindi po yan NEP to NEP?
This is GAA to NEP.
Okay, so with that, Mr. Speaker, sa usapin naman ng itong prevention and control of communicable diseases, yung capital outlay for that, ano din po yung trend?
For CO, there's a decrease from GAA to NEP again, from 611 to 222 billion.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, napansin din natin na actually yung title niya or yung pangalan ng item for GAA 2024 ay Prevention and Control of Communicable Diseases. Pero is it true na sa proposal po ngayon, NEP 2025, ang title na po niya ay Nationally Procured Commodities for Prevention and Control of Communicable Diseases?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. That's correct.
May we know, Mr. Speaker, bakit po may ganong change dun sa pangalan?
Mr. Speaker, they included the commodities for TB, HIV/AIDS, malaria, rabies, etc., which previously should have been included. And Mr. Speaker, under devolution, should be purchased by the LGUs.
So meron pong mga locally procured, tapos itong nakalagak sa, or pinopropose na ilagak sa DOH budget, ito na lang yung matitira na national government, yung magpaprocure, ganun po ba?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, kasunod po, regarding itong PhilHealth remittance, no, sa National Treasury, Mr. Speaker, magkano ang total ulit? Is it 89.9 billion?
That's correct, Mr. Speaker.
Na mula sa PhilHealth, i-remit sa Treasury. Mr. Speaker, so far, magkano na yung na-remit?
30 billion.
Yung 30 billion, Mr. Speaker, ano yung balak na paggamitan ng 30 billion?
These are actually for our healthcare workers, Mr. Speaker. Sa mga HEA ng mga doctors natin, mga nurses, even barangay health workers po, dito po kukunin ang ating ang HEA or Health Emergency Allowances.
Mr. Speaker, while tama namang dapat pondohan ang health emergency allowance ng ating mga healthcare workers, in the first place po, Mr. Speaker, kasi yan ay nasa unprogrammed appropriations. Dapat nga hindi yun nilagay sa unprogrammed appropriations. Dapat bagay talaga ng programmed na pagpopondo ng pamahalaan. Kaya Mr. Speaker, kung may ganun palang pera na nasa PhilHealth, bakit po hindi na lang ito ginawang reduction sa binabayarang premium o pagpapataas ng benefits ng mga kababayan natin alinsunod sa universal healthcare?
Mr. Speaker, yun lang po kasi talaga ang nasa batas. Yun ang inaasahan natin na gawin ng PhilHealth. However, hindi nila nagawa ito ng ganap.
Kasi Mr. Speaker, yun nga
Kaya po, Mr. Speaker, nagkaroon ng surplus funds na... So ang surplus funds po natin, Mr. Speaker, is 504 minus 280 kasi po we have to reserve for those 2 years. So kaya po naging 224 ang naging surplus po natin sa PhilHealth.
Nonetheless, Mr. Speaker, given nga na I'm sure sa ating lahat ay marami talagang naghahanap, nanghihingi ng medical assistance. Pero in the first place, Mr. Speaker, kung sapat naman talaga at mapupunan natin yung pangangailangan ng mga kababayan natin, umasa nga sila na dahil sa PhilHealth ay hindi sila gagastos ng napakalaki. Tapos ngayon, Mr. Speaker, malalaman natin na may ganito na palang extra na pera na hindi napapakinabangan para dun sa healthcare services. Mr. Speaker, kung sa Special Provision number 1 of Unprogrammed Appropriations, pati yung DOF circular, ano po ang nilalaman nito, Mr. Speaker?
According to the special provisions, Mr. Speaker, excess revenue collections in the total tax revenues or any one of the identified non-tax revenue sources from its corresponding revenue collection target, as reflected in the 2024 BESF submitted by the President.
Is that the gist? Yun na po, Mr. Speaker.
There's also here included new revenue collections or those arising from new tax or non-tax sources which are not part of nor included in the original revenue sources reflected in the BESF. And then approval loans for foreign assisted projects, and then fund balance of the government-owned or controlled corporations from any remainder resulting from the review and reduction of their reserve funds to reasonable levels, taking into account the disbursements from prior years.
In layman's terms, Mr. Speaker, ano po ang magiging epekto niyan kapag in-implement po yan, Mr. Speaker? Ano ang kahulugan po noon?
Mr. Speaker, ito po ang naging legal basis para sa fund transfer na nangyari po.
Mr. Speaker, kasi sa House version, pati sa Senate version ng national budget or yung General Appropriations Bill, ay wala naman po iyan. Nung nagtalakay, nagdebate tayo last year about the national budget, hindi po yan nakalagay. Kaya gusto po nating malaman, nakonsulta po ba ang DOH tsaka PhilHealth tungkol dyan bago po yan na ipasok sa level ng BICAM at maging bahagi na talaga ng General Appropriations Act?
Ito po actually ay nakuha natin sa isang bill na pumasa dito sa third reading, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, ano po ang bill na iyon? For the enlightenment of our colleagues. Yung time po natin, Mr. Speaker, sa timekeeper po.
Yes, I'll take note of that, distinguished interpolator.
Mr. Speaker, it's House Bill 9513. Which is the... So it's House Bill 9513, entitled An Act Providing Additional Criterion for the Availment of the Unprogrammed Appropriations Amending for the Purpose RA 11936 or the 2023 the General Appropriations Act.
So, ganun po yung sinasite, Mr. Speaker, pero then again, on the part of DOH and PhilHealth. Kasi dahil involved doon yung funds na nasa PhilHealth, kaya dapat, Mr. Speaker, bago iyon na ilagay sa level ng BICAM, nakonsulta ang DOH at yung PhilHealth.
Yes, opo. But ultimately, the decision is sa DOF po.
Pero ano po ang naging inputs no ng DOH at PhilHealth?
Mr. Speaker, the PhilHealth actually provided the financial status. Kaya po, in the end, nakapag-decide po ang DOF on May 8, 2024 with the PhilHealth Board na 89.9 po ang transfer.
So, kung ganun, Mr. Speaker, na hindi pala nag-object, at the minimum, hindi po nag-object ang PhilHealth na magbabalik ito ng 89.9 billion sa Treasury. Tapos, ngayon po, Mr. Speaker, ay magpo-propose pa ng 74 billion para sa 2025. Tama ba? For PhilHealth? Magkano po yung proposal ng PhilHealth for 2025? Is it
74 billion po, Mr. Speaker.
Magkano po?
74 billion.
74, oh. So, Mr. Speaker, kasi mas mataas pa itong pinopropose ng PhilHealth kaysa magkano yung budget niya ngayon.
Okay.
Magkano po ang PhilHealth budget ngayon, 2024?
Okay. Just to clarify, Mr. Speaker, yung 89.9 billion is because it's from 2021, 2022, and 2023. So, bale, 3 pong taon. If we break it down, for 2021, it's 27.1. For 2022, it's 24. And for 2023, it's 38.8.
Okay, pero again, Mr. Speaker, for this year, 2024, magkano ang binudget natin for PhilHealth?
61 billion po.
Okay, so Mr. Speaker, this year, 61 billion, tapos nagpo-propose for 2025, 74 billion. Mr. Speaker, para hindi po kasi nagja-jive dahil manghihingi ng mas mataas na budget ang PhilHealth for 2025, tapos ginagamit ang pera na iyon para mapagkakitaan ang health services natin, tapos eventually, Mr. Speaker, ay baka hindi ito yung last time na gagawin yung pagre-remit ng pera pabalik sa Treasury. Baka pagkakitaan siya, tapos hanggang sa meron na namang ide-declare na excess, tapos meron na namang i-remit doon sa Treasury. Kaya, Mr. Speaker, hindi ko na bebelabor yung point kasi limited yung oras, pero ang panawagan po natin, kung meron naman palang excess or idle funds ang PhilHealth, gamitin na para sa kalusugan. Hindi po para sa mga programs na nilagay pa sa unprogrammed appropriations, pero kung priority naman pala, edi sana nakapaloob yon sa programmed appropriations. Marami tayong mga hospital, Mr. Speaker, na kulang sa budget, may cuts sa MOE. Kanina din na-point out natin yung mga programs sa disease control, sa disease surveillance, tapos may ganito tayong gustong gawin. So, Mr. Speaker, ilang huling...
Mr. Speaker, tama po kayo sa mga nabanggit ninyo. No? Dapat talaga gamitin ang lahat ng pondo para sa benefits ng ating mga mamamayan. At syempre, lahat ng investable funds na umaabot ng 504 billion pesos ay itatabi as reserve funds, magagamit po.
Okay, but then again, Mr. Speaker, in the first place, sa panahon na marami talagang nagkakasakit, ang daming naghihirap, dapat nga hindi humantong sa nagkaroon ng excess funds yung PhilHealth. Kaya kung may pondo, Mr. Speaker, dapat ilaan na yan sa mga public hospitals natin. Dapat nga doblehin yung budget ng ating mga public hospitals kaysa yung nagpopondo tayo sa PhilHealth, tapos ayun pala, hindi fully ginagamit yung pera, pero may mga kumikita, ang taas po ng sweldo ng mga nasa PhilHealth, habang namamatay araw-araw yung ating mga kababayan. May iba nga hindi malang nakakita ng doktor, hindi malang nakapagkonsulta once in their lives bago po sila namatay.
Tama po kayo, Mr. Speaker. At kaya po ginagawa rin yung benefit expansion aggressively noong February 14 this year. Nakapag-commit na po ng 30%, from 10% magiging 30%. And then at the end of the year, they have committed to do it 50% na po na benefit expansion for all members.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, last two questions. Tungkol po sa newborn screening, libre po ba ang newborn screening sa public health facilities?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, it's covered by PhilHealth.
Okay, last Mr. Speaker, meron pong nakarating sa atin na may mga expired na DOH commodities na binaon, buried at the Tala Warehouse sa 187 St. Joseph, Tala, Caloocan, Mr. Speaker, during the time of Secretary Duque. Mr. Speaker, may mga pictures po, hindi lang po natin na flash sa screen natin, pero ito po, Mr. Speaker, mga kahon-kahon na mga gamot. Napakasayang, Mr. Speaker. And ito, pictures ng mga expired na gamot na nasa warehouse. Habang yung iba, Mr. Speaker, ay ito na talaga, balak na pong ibaon sa ilalim ng lupa. Mr. Speaker, paano po humantong sa ganito during the time of Secretary Duque at ano po ang mga ginawa ng DOH regarding this?
Yes. Just as a clarification, Mr. Speaker, it was during their time, the Secretary's time, well, not the current time, but rest assured that they have been doing an investigation, and in fact, it's a pending case before the Ombudsman po.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, within DOH, kasi syempre iba yung pwede pang aksyon ng Office of the Ombudsman, pero internally dapat mas proactive din ang DOH. So kailan po natin may expect na merong may lalabas na findings or recommendations?
Mr. Speaker, kasi po nasa ombudsman na, so technically, it's beyond the control of the department.
So ganito na lang, Mr. Speaker, kasi nga nasa point ng nag-hold accountable tayo nung sino yung mga dapat na maging accountable, pero kung merong mga incumbents, halimbawa sa DOH, like employees na involved doon pero nasa DOH pa rin, hindi rin naman pwedeng hands-off or wala na lang gawin. So,
tama po kayo, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, yun na lang, Mr. Speaker.
Good evening to my colleagues, and thank you to the officials of the DOH for their presence. First of all, please allow me to thank the Secretary and the officials of DOH that despite the many complicated issues and criticisms of many members of the House, they still cooperate with us and in fact have complied with many of the requests of the members, both in the minority and majority. And I have a favorite saying, Mr. Speaker, give credit where credit is due, and I congratulate DOH, Secretary Bosa, and the officials for issuing the no balance billing department memorandum clarifying no copay, no balance billing under the Universal Healthcare Act and other relevant laws. So I thank the sponsor, these sponsors, Congresswoman Ko, Congresswoman Kimbo, Congresswoman Garin, for following up on this very important universal healthcare policy. So thank you so much. And the short question, in line with that, because the DOH has already essentially clarified that poor patients in charity beds or ward beds in government hospitals should have no copay and they should not have out-of-pocket. May I ask the sponsor, DOH and PhilHealth, because it's now policy and because DILG has a seal of good local governance, one of their matrix is health. May I request or get a comment from PhilHealth and DOH that maybe our advocacy of helping poor patients, no copay, no out-of-pocket, which was clarified by this memorandum, shouldn't this be now at least discussed with DILG, with PhilHealth and DOH, to be considered in that seal of good local governance as part of the health matrix for our LGUs?
Yes, that's an excellent idea, Mr. Speaker, our dear colleague. The PhilHealth and the DOH agrees.
Okay, thank you. I'm satisfied just as long as the sponsor follows up with PhilHealth DOH. I think there will be substantial improvement in terms of helping our poor patients. Second, in the budget hearing, there were many doctors complaining about when the doctors get accredited by PhilHealth, they were before required to pay 3 years advance membership fee, sometimes 1 year membership fee advance. They clarified to me that there's now a circular saying that when doctors get accredited, they can now just pay 1 month membership fee, just like all other PhilHealth members. Is that correct, Mr. Speaker?
That's correct, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And I thank PhilHealth for helping our doctors on this particular issue because there were many doctors who were complaining. The other one is, in the accreditation process, doctors are accredited by PhilHealth, but actually these doctors are also accredited by the hospital. So well, there's a potential streamlining to make it, we have an ARTA law, we're supposed to be implementing streamlining processes, ease of doing business. So my okay, Mr. Speaker, may I move to spend just a few minutes?
Mr. Speaker, with the due indulgence of our distinguished Senior Deputy Minority Leader, I believe we're running out of time, and may we request him to proceed with his interpellation.
Deputy Minority Leader.
Few minutes suspension, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended. Session resume. Majority Leader.
Hello. Mr. Speaker, I now move that we again recognize the Honorable Paul Daza.
Congressman Daza, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good evening again. As I was saying, doctors are complaining about the red tape in terms of PhilHealth accreditation. I thank again the sponsors for encouraging dialogue with PhilHealth, and we did that. No less than the Secretary of DOH supports streamlining. He's also an anti-red tape person. So I wanted to ask the sponsor, because doctors are already PRC licensed. They have certification from their specialties. They get accredited by the hospitals. So may I request from the sponsor a response or a commitment on how PhilHealth can streamline the accreditation process for doctors?
Mr. Speaker, the accreditation process for professionals is already on the way or into streamlining. So there will okay. So yes, it's in the process of streamlining already.
Thank you so much to my esteemed colleague, the Honorable Ko, for that assurance. I think all our doctors in this country will be very happy with that development. And on the issue on utilization of PhilHealth funds, there was some discussion about increasing case rates of instead 30%, but 50% to increase utilization for the poor patients in the wards. What we call, as clarified in the memorandum issued by Secretary Herbosa, why not increase case rates for poor patients so there will be now more funds for all hospitals for medicines, X-ray, and other ancillary services? Because I was told there were already discussions before at the PhilHealth level to do that. May we get a response from the sponsor on the possibility of increasing case rates to increase utilization, specifically for the poor patients who are eligible under the Universal Healthcare Law on no copay, no balance billing, no out-of-pocket?
Mr. Speaker, the increase in the case rates will include the level 1 infirmaries. So, which also includes the benefits of PhilHealth, more or less po across the board.
Okay. Baby steps, that would be an improvement already. But if the PhilHealth will consider that previous proposal about maybe prioritize the increase of case rates for the NBB patients, for the poor patients in the ward beds. Because there were already discussions in the past regarding that, and I was wondering if that's still on the table and if that's something PhilHealth can include in their agenda.
Yes.
But thank you for the response earlier. I think that's already a big improvement. But this is specifically for the poor patients, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. But yes, the answer to that, to your query, is included.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I'd like to commend the sponsors for your patience. I know sometimes the debates, the exchanges get heated, and we appreciate your understanding and patience with the members of the minority, because I know sometimes we all get emotional. And I appreciate what the Vice Chair and the Chairman have done to make sure our concerns and issues are addressed. Thank you so much to our Vice Chairs and to the other sponsors. Mr. Speaker. Again, I'd like to thank the Department of Health officials who spent essentially 2 days with us. Thank you so much for addressing many, if not most, of our concerns. And Mr. Speaker, having no more members of the minority.
No. Mr.
Mr. Speaker, we join the minority in their motion to terminate the period of debate. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Kanya na ba
Joint
ang
motion to
nangyayari ngayon
terminate
dito sa
interpolations
atin?
of the proposed budget of the Department
No.
of Health. Is there any objection? The
Mr.
chair
Speaker,
hears
have a
none.
motion ruling,
Let me
please.
question the
Interpolations on the proposed budget of the Department of Health is hereby
Let me
terminated.
question the quorum, Mr.
Mr.
Speaker.
Speaker.
Session suspended.
Mr. Speaker.
Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we recognize the Honorable Minority Leader, the Honorable Nonoy Libanan, for his turno en contra.
The Honorable Minority Leader is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move for a few minutes suspension.
Session is suspended. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me to reiterate my motion.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, a working Congress would have its kinks, agreements, and disagreements. We thank the minority, especially our good colleague here, including the Honorable Lee, for their perseverance, and the majority for their hard work, and especially the Committee on Appropriations for their diligence, hard work, and sleepless nights. Yung konting tinik kanina ay tiyak na magbubunga ng rosas. Rosas na mahalimuyak patungo sa mas pinaigting na samahan puno ng pagmamahalan. With this, Mr. Speaker, I move that we immediately transmit to the Senate House Bill 10800.
There is a motion to transmit House Bill number 10800, approved on third reading today, to the Senate. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Move to suspend, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended.